Peace and blessings. I greet you in the highest love, and I thank you for watching the video in advance and for sharing something as precious as your time with me. I'm going to try to make this video brief. I haven't recorded in a while. I plan on recording a lot more. I'll be doing some different videos, but I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about what I'm getting ready to do. I just want to do it. And I wanted to share a reason why people are always asking, when are you going to do your book? When are you going to start back doing spoken word? I have people who often, contact me. I want you to, sing on my album, or I want you to write a piece for this, or I want you to do a spoken word piece for that. When are you getting back in the studio? When are you blah, 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 blah. And I generally shy away for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons why I shy away is because there's a sense of entitlement that comes with an artist of any kind, that the people don't separate the gifting from the person and begin to want to, because the gift of the person speaks to their heart in a manner, they almost don't even recognize the person, even though they think they want the person, they want the gift. And I was sharing with a friend of mine the other day, a person that I really love, how, it's amazing to me that people don't understand that, like, who I am as a person is not the same as who I am as the writer, or who I am as a healer. Not that those things aren't really me, but a lot of times the vein that I'm in when I'm writing, a lot of times I'm kind of tranced out. I'm in the flow of spirit. I'm in the flow of love. I'm in the flow of healing, is different than dealing with my personality. My personality has different character traits and issues just like yours that will come out if you get to know the person. And a lot of times it's so funny because people either want the divine self I am, or they want people want you compartmentalized. Most people can't deal with the fullness of the beings in their lives, or the fullness of my being sometimes. But I'm a rare case, so we're not going to go there. But I was watching this interview with a little mama, and it really touched my heart, and it made me think about Lauryn Hill. And when I hear people argue or talk about how she needs to do another album, and the disconnect of this woman's physical self to the audacity for people to feel entitled to her gifting, because the point of it is yes, I've been gifted, or different people, we've all been gifted with different things that we can share with the world, but we don't have to share them. And we can share them how and when we want to, and there's many ways to do it. Like, she could go sing at a Sunday school on Sundays and teach children Sunday school songs, for lack of better terms, and that may be the way she shares her gift, and she doesn't have to put out another album. And people don't understand what that might have taken out of her psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. You look at these great wonders, these great feelers, because I call them feelers more than thinkers, like a Donny Hathaway, or a Lauryn Hill, or a Hendrix, or people who weren't just musicians, weren't just artists. They were gurus in a sense. They're even a Dave Chappelle, a lot of people make fun of him for going to Africa. People don't even really understand what that man really did, but I'm not going to get all over, because y'all know I can go all over the place. I'm not going to get them to rein back into my topic at your hand. But people tend to think that the artists owe them something, especially if they've ever supported, even just by listening, which if you're supporting an artist by listening, you're also kind of getting something out of it. Like, you're getting the gift of the music. You're getting the gift that the spirit is given that person. You're getting a piece of their heart, their soul, their energy, their courage, their truth, their fantasy, their lust, whatever it is that they're putting into that piece of art, their jewelry, whatever. And people have a tendency to feel like they should get that person too. Like, I listen to your music, so I get you too. No, you don't. And you probably don't really want me, because there's a lot of different things that come with me other than what I put in a song or what I put on a video or whatever the case may be. And I'm speaking for all people, even healers. I think people tend to underestimate the healing arts, like a person who can give a massage. Everybody want a massage for free, or a person who moves and shifts energy, or a person who holds people in a healing light. Because we don't heal people heal themselves. But what we are able to do is to create an environment and an atmosphere for healing, or create a mindset or a heart set for healing to take place, and to hold a being at a vibration to begin to move certain energies, or to help them realize certain energies that they may have not realized. And as I was watching Little Mama talk, she was talking about when she did her first album, she was 17 and her mom was dying of cancer, and her mom has passed away. And because of how I'm built, I immediately saw why she probably doesn't really want to go back into a recording studio, because in her mind, the two are very associated, correlated. And if you know anything about learned behavior, learned helplessness, which a lot of people don't like psychology, but psychology is a badass science. It really is. And though some people may distort it, there's a real honest truth to the heart psyche and the mind psyche, because I think there's two psyches that are in a person, a heart psyche and a mind psyche. But you know, that'll come in my later days when I get older and start writing books about that stuff, when I'm not trying to see none of y'all anyway, because I'll be a recluse in a house somewhere on an island or something. I don't know, but I'm just kidding, but not really. Anyway, you have a heart psyche and a mind psyche, and these psyches build in certain fail systems to protect the vulnerable essence and the softest nature of a being. And then the conceptualization of this society has forced certain concepts or certain ideals on the mind, which also trigger certain doors to open or close based on what better promotes the societal systematic agenda. So I say all of that to say, she was explaining that she was 17-year-old, she had demands from a label, and her mom was dying of cancer, and how hard that was, and she teared up. And I was like, no wonder she doesn't want to get back in the studio. It's a very painful process to her, because that whole album experience, and there's no telling what kind of guilt or I'm tapping into her energy, what kind of guilt or reservation she has for feeling like maybe she wasn't there for her mother as much as she would have liked to be in the last days. And this dude named Charlemagne, which you guys probably know him because I don't really watch stuff like that, but he was just pressuring her about, well, you need to put it in your songs, you need to do, your gift is music, which she's also a dancer, which I didn't know, which is why they put her on America's Next Best Dance Group or whatever. But I just saw this like great selfishness that she owed the fans, and she owed these people to put in this. So her being on TV didn't mean anything to them. Her finding other avenues to use her gifts wasn't enough. They just wanted her to put out another album, and that's what this society teaches us. It teaches us to treat people who are courageous enough to share their hearts on levels that most of us are not, to come behind a mask. A lot of musicians come out of a mask. They probably wear a mask more in their private lives because of how much they come out of the mask when they're performing, and allow you to get a piece of their essence, their soul, their life force, their dreams, their visions, their ability to travel in and out of dimensions. And the entitlement that I heard coming from this brother, that she owed it to the people to use her gifting in that way, really kind of pissed me off. And it's a lot of the reason why sometimes I don't record as much as I would like to, or why I haven't really put my stuff on YouTube yet, or why I haven't really just done the book so much. Because what I realize is people want the person more than they want the gift sometimes, even though the gift is what draws them to thinking they want the person. And what happens is their own stuff that's in them that they haven't recognized yet draws them to feel like this person can give them something that will make that thing feel better. And so there becomes a sense of entitlement, and I already have like an inbox that I can't keep up with right now, and I ain't really doing nothing major. And I already had people who feel entitled to ask me to do spiritual work for them without compensating me for it, or ask me this or ask me that, and not really be considerate of the fact that if you went to see a psychiatrist, you would have to drop this off. If you went to see a doctor, you would have to come with this. If you went to see if you go to the grocery store, you have to bring something. But it's like with talents and giftings, people feel like you owe them to go into the cosmos. And you know, you have skills and talents, but you don't feel like you should go to your job and work for free. You know, thank you ain't gonna be enough. You're gonna want some money, I think. And so it's just interesting to watch people, you know, and to watch how little people are really willing to invest in their spiritual and emotional and mental growth, and how much we run from that. We run from that in the relationships that come in our lives that can help us to look at ourselves and to grow. We run from that in the in our alone time. Like, you have a lot of people who really rarely have alone time. They fill it with something. They're always reading something. They're always doing something. Like, there are a lot of people who never have a moment of silence except for when they're sleeping. And even then, you're not really having silence, because whether you're aware of it or not, your spirit is going into other realms, it's having dreams, whether you recall or not. So even then, you're not necessarily in silence. So it's just very intriguing to see how people feel entitled to a person based on the gift, when the gift has already been given in the song and in the poem and in the notes and in the speech that was given. And that's a lot of the times why I shy away from doing a lot of promoting myself. That's why I'm not really on my site right now. And I've taken some time to do some things that I needed to do in myself, and I do feel like it's time for me to emerge from that a little bit. But even people touching you, like, everybody want to touch you. Like, some days I'm very sensitive and I can't really deal with everyone's touch, and I don't want to. Like, it ain't even that I can't. I just really don't want to. That don't mean I don't love you. That don't mean I don't want to touch you. It just means that sometimes it's best that I don't. And I don't know. It was just something about watching that really bothered me, about this sense of entitlement. And we have that even with in our relationships. And I'm going to talk more about love and acceptance and forgiveness and a whole bunch of other stuff in the coming weeks and months. But nobody owes you anything. An artist who puts out an album, if they never put out another album again, you don't know what it took from their heart and their mind to do it. And don't have a situation where you're correlating the death of your parent or tragedy with that moment, because it creates certain resistance in oneself to feel that kind of pain again, or to open oneself like that again. And I just want to say, if you have people in your lives that are artists, appreciate their gift and their talent, but also realize that's a real person behind that instrument, behind that song, behind that poem, behind that painting, is a person who probably feels really deeply, and a person who's probably often overshadowed by the gift that they have, which means people don't really want the person, which means that person learns not to really share who they are with the people that they're closest to, because they're so used to people not really wanting them as they are. And you know, that's kind of what Little Mama was saying. Like, you guys should be supporting me. I come from where you come from. It shouldn't matter how I'm working, what I'm doing right now. I'm still me. Like, why wouldn't you support that? And we just got to be kinder and gentler with each other. And a lot of times what happens with a lot of people is when they see artists, there's a bravery and a courage that they don't have, which makes them want to touch that, because it's like that person is giving them permission to open in a sense. But a lot of people that are opening out front aren't opening behind closed doors because of what happens out there on the stage, what happens after the stage, and how many people come into their lives with motives of getting instead of giving. And that's another thing. We got to start coming to each other to give instead of receive, and to really respect when in a relationship or in a partnership or in a friendship, you're not getting the sustenance you need for whatever reason. Maybe the conversations, the vibe, the connection has changed, to release these beings from your life instead of put demands on them to become what you need them to become for you. And that's pretty much all I gotta say for now. I'll be doing more videos. I will be putting together some books and some other stuff. And I just really kind of want to keep it low key. I really don't want to say what I'm going to do, because I just feel like actions speak louder than words. And I love you as always. It's been a pleasure. Be well, be sound, be within oneself enough to know oneself, to know what one wants and what one does not want. Focus more on what you do want than what you don't want. And keep being gentle with you. And if love comes, allow it to be a part of your now. Don't be such a conceptualized being that the reality and actuality of things isn't worth your time. I love you. Take care.